I want to quickly talk to you about a legal podcast slash YouTube channel called Lawyer You Know. And the cool thing about Lawyer You Know is that you have a very dynamic platform that informs Americans, that really gives the viewers all kinds of legal angles on very specific topics. And the cool thing also is that the host is Peter Tragos, okay, and Peter Tragos is really cool in terms of articulating all the intricacies of the legal cases that he discusses. So this is really fantastic. So think about the lawyer you know, not just as a YouTube channel or as a legal podcast, a very successful legal podcast, by the way, but think of it as a very prominent legal commentary platform that spans both YouTube and podcasting, offering insightful analysis of high profile legal cases and current events. I mean, every now and then, Peter will talk about less impactful cases, but most importantly, he focuses on high profile legal cases and current events. Okay, current events that really touch large swaths of the populace of the country. Okay, so the platform aims to demystify the U.S. legal system for the general public. That's really his ethos, his motto. Okay, demystifying the U.S. legal system for the general public. I mean, a lot of folks, a lot of for the regular person, the U.S. legal system can be a little intimidating. And Peter's mission is to demystify that. Okay, so whether you are, let's say, a legal enthusiast, or let's say someone seeking to understand the intricacies of the legal system in this country, the Lawyer You Know offers actually a comprehensive and engaging resource to stay informed and educated on legal matters. Okay, and the cool thing is that, again, Peter does a great job at articulating the his stories in a way that is accessible to large mass, to the large population. Okay, so nothing like a no legal lingo, no legal jargon here. Okay, he speaks plain English, so to speak. So let me quickly talk to you about Peter Tragos himself. So you have to understand that besides being the host of Lawyer You Know, he's the managing partner of the law offices of Tragos, Sartes, and Tragos in Clearwater, okay, and Clearwater, Florida. So his legal practice focuses primarily on personal injury, wrongful death, and wage and overtime litigation. So, sorry, that's the trifecta he focuses on, okay? So, but, of course, on his YouTube channel, he might talk about other topics, but this is the trifecta he likes. So what I love about Peter Tragos is that he's able to again, I think I've said this before, but I want to repeat it. He's able to articulate legal matters in a clear and understandable and accessible way, and that's really fantastic. I mean, this is why, besides actually having a very successful YouTube channel, he has received many kudos, many accolades. Okay, for instance, he was the rising star. He was designed as the rising star from Super Lawyers. He has been recognized by the National Association of Distinguished Counsel. This is really cool. And also, he's an active member of the legal community, serving, for example, on the Florida Bar's Civil Procedure Rules Committee, and volunteers also as a speaker on civil litigation and legal technology topics. One thing you need to understand is that legal tech is a pretty hot area nowadays, with all those startups, all those unicorns, all those big, all those small companies that become big real fast in the tech space. Okay, so you also have an element of intellectual property. Of course, Peter's expertise is not in intellectual property law. However, his knowledge, his broad legal knowledge, allows him to really help startups, in legal matters. Okay, and so one thing I want to say here is that by the way, when I said his law firm. He actually founded his law firm about 2013, 2014. So and Peter is actually pretty young. I mean, he's like he's in 40s. That's really fantastic. Very, very fantastic. So let me talk to you about some of the awards and recognitions that he had. I mean, I'm still talking to you about the Lawyer You Know Legal Podcast slash YouTube channel, and I'm trying to really explain to you how this legal commentary has been very successful, what strategies Peter is using or has been using, okay, and why he's going to be here for a long time. So I want to talk about the awards and recognition that some of the awards and recognition that he has received. For example, the National Trial Lawyers Top 40 under 40. Fantastic, very prestigious award, by the way. American Society of Legal Advocates Top 40 under 40 litigation lawyer. Fantastic. Super Lawyer Rising Star, I've already said that. Civil Procedure Rules Committee member, okay. He is the chair of the FJA Young Lawyers. He was the chair, by the way. 2023 Best Lawyers for personal injury litigation plaintiffs, and the National Association of Distinguished Counsel, nation's top 1%. Okay, so this is really fantastic, and also his AVO rating is actually a 10, which is superb. Okay, so he has been recognized for his outstanding pro bono service and has received awards for his distinguished contributions for the legal community. So you have somebody who is really, really networking, who's really working hard, who's adding value, not just for money, like getting paid, but also volunteering his time, his expertise. That's really fantastic. Okay, and he's pretty. When I said he's involved, he's actually involved in his church in Clearwater, Florida. Okay, and he actively participates in community outreach programs. So that's kind of cool. And he also is a dedicated community member at various level. So now let's talk about the YouTube channel that you probably want to know more about. Okay, the Lawyer You Know. And so this is an important, this YouTube channel has been very successful. Right now, they have a little above 500,000 subscribers, which is really huge. I mean, and they have released close to 2,000 videos. That's really fantastic. Okay, 500,000 subs and 2,000 videos. Fantastic. So what happens on his YouTube channel is that I think I've said this before, but YouTube allows Peter to articulate clear stories, clear stuff on complex legal matters. So he provides in-depth legal analysis, often focusing on trending trials and legal news. His content actually includes breakdown of courtroom proceedings, discussions on legal strategies, and explanations of complex legal concepts. Okay, so the cool thing also is that the channel encourages viewer interactions. Okay, inviting questions and comments to foster a community engaged in understanding the law. That's pretty good because here Peter is trying to really make sure that he's not just having viewers, he's having a community. Okay, so that's really fantastic. For the last few years, the channel has amassed close to 120 million views. Okay, on YouTube only, and the channel actually started about 7 years ago. They started in 2018, 2019. That's really fantastic. I mean, to amass that many viewers in such a short span of time is just significant. Okay, of course, one thing I want to say here is that Peter is constantly trying to see ways to expand his audience. That's why he's working. That's why he also has a podcast. So YouTube is not the only platform where Peter is actually active. Okay, but I would say that so far YouTube has been the most prominent platform where he was able to develop or let's say to expand his reputation big time. So let me talk to you about the podcast here. If you think about the lawyer that you know, the podcast actually is on several platforms, not just Podbean, not just Spotify, not just Apple Podcast, but on other platforms. Okay. And the cool thing here is that the podcast is more of a long form content type. Okay. So the way Peter does his job is that on YouTube, the videos are not that long. I mean, some videos are long, but the videos are not that long. But the podcast, he can go all the way to 3 hours and even 5 hours, depending on the host, depending on the topic, and depending on depending on interest that viewers have I would say have showed for the topic. Okay, so on the podcast, he delves into legal discussions with a focus on making the law accessible. And so Peter, along with a special guest, explores trending cases, offering detailed insights and answering legal questions posed by listeners. So what happens here is that Peter's team actually collects all week long questions from the public, questions from viewers, okay? And Peter tries to answer those questions live, okay? Now, the podcast aims to help everyone better understand the U.S. legal system because, again, he's the lawyer they know, right? The lawyer you know. So, new episodes are actually released weekly, covering a range of topics from high-profile trials to legal theory. I mean, sometimes you have legal theory and strategy. It really depends on, again, the time depends on the viewer's needs, okay? But the cool thing is that the podcast has been very successful, complementing Peter's reach already on YouTube and other platforms such as Twitch. Okay, so the podcast serves. See, the thing is, the cool thing about podcasting is that you could be driving and listening to Peter on a podcast. You don't have to watch. Okay, you could be in the subway. You can be somewhere where you know that you do now have to participate actively, and you can still listen. So when you think about the lawyer you know, I want to talk to you about a few notable features to pay attention to this year. So when you think about this lawyer you know content type, you have three important functionalities or three important features that you have to be aware of if you want to be as successful as Peter in your podcast or as a lawyer. You have to focus on your educational approach. At least Peter does it very well. He has an educational approach. He has interactive engagement, and he has a current case coverage. So this is the trifecta. This is the primary trifecta that has made Peter so successful. So when I say educational approach, I'm speaking about something very simple. What Peter does is that he actually prioritizes educating the audience on legal matters, any legal matter, not just legal matters in his niche, in Peter's niche. No, any legal matter that he has chosen to explore. He basically breaks down complex issues into understandable segments. Okay, because see, not everybody went to law school, and Peter knows that. And so his job is to speak plain English, to explain certain complex issues. Okay, so that's number one. That's the top reason why Peter is so successful. The lawyer you know is so successful. Second, you have interactive engagement. So Peter encourages audience participation. That's really cool. I think I've said this to you earlier that he basically responds to questions and incorporates viewer inquiries into content discussions. That's pretty good because he is signaling to the public that he takes their opinions very importantly. So viewers are more likely to participate if they know that their opinion counts, their view counts. Okay, their views count. You also have current case coverage. So the platform often focuses on ongoing trials, providing timely updates and analysis to keep the audience informed. So this is pretty good from a flexibility point of view. So I want to talk to you about monetization. What's keeping the monetary engine actually working well at the Laura you know? Well, Peter has actually come up with several monetization strategies. Okay, and this is really fantastic. Some of those monetization strategies are just brilliant. For example, he sells apparel, so you have apparel actually with the logo LYK. So the lawyer you know LYK. You have bath products. This is pretty interesting. Anytime I see this, I mean, I'm very at awe about because we are speaking about a lawyer here, but you have a lawyer who really understands the whole thing about digital marketing, who is actually implementing strategies to actually monetize his craft. That's really fantastic. That's really wonderful. So you have bath products, you have drinkware, you have accessories. All these things that I'm telling you are actually are basically LYK logoed products. Okay, so that's really good. He has a Brooklyn collection. He has an entire collection called the Brooklyn collection that you can actually buy on his website. You got to go to a website. You can see on the screen there is a website called the Lawyer You Know merch, and this is where he posts everything. I mean that website is totally different from the company's own website. So those are two different things. Okay, so you have his law firm in Clearwater, Florida, that's doing like regular stuff during the day, and proverbially at night he's selling merch. But that's just wonderful. So you also have a members only category. So when you go to Peter Trago's website, they want you to really sign up. So you have to sign up and you have to become a member. Okay. And this is how you actually get some quote unquote some special deals. Okay. Now it's not really that much, but at least it's something. Okay. And you also have every now and then Peter does special promos around the holiday season or around specific festivities, and so he has done that. He has done that for the last 5 years, where he has been he has been selling special items around the holiday season, like in October and November, for instance. So that strategy has worked for him pretty well. In conclusion to this conversation, I spoke to you about the lawyer you know, and I gave you the overview, the YouTube strategy, the podcast strategy, notable features, the monetization strategy. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.